What's up, guys? I'm back. Sorry I've been gone, but you know how it goes. Quarantine and whatever. Life gets in the way sometime, I guess. Haven't felt like making a video too much, but today I'm going to make a video. And the video is basically if you're having trouble finding food, I don't know how you guys are doing out there. Hopefully you're doing good. You're not struggling to eat or anything. I was going to give you a couple pointers here on where to go. I'm going to leave a link down there. There's a decent article about places that you can look up and what you can do right now. First of all, you look up local harvest. Check them out. Look them up. And then look up a CSA program and a small farm. And the CSA program, CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture. And what happens is you basically invest, buy a little share in a local farm, small farm or whatever. And then when they get the harvest, they can deliver the food to you, okay, when this food is ready. So that's something to look into. And it probably wouldn't cost that much. And other things to look at are meal deliveries. If you can afford it. HelloFresh, Sunbasket is another one. And I'm actually getting meals delivered right now. I just got into it with Freshly. I recommend them. Freshly, I buy 6 meals a week for myself. Since I live alone, that's enough for me. One day a week I fast. I don't eat. And I haven't been eating that much. If I have a little coffee, I can drink coffee pretty much. Watered down, decaffeinated coffee all day, and I don't have to eat much, and so that's how I've been doing sometime. In fact, the meals I have, the 6 meals, I have some left over for the next week sometime, So there's 6 meals and they're pretty good, and that would probably run you about, I think it's like $60 a week. It's pretty much like $10 a meal or something. And the meals, they got different meals there. Freshly, look them up. And there's not much to do if you got a microwave. Some of you guys might not like microwave ovens, but I got one. For a couple years, I put it away. I didn't use it. I was just using the old fashioned way to warm up my food in a toaster oven or on the stove. And I didn't miss my microwave. I just, but I brought it back out. And these meals you can warm them up in the microwave. If you don't want to warm them in the microwave, you can always do it on the stove. Get a pan and put the food in there and warm them up that way. But the meals are very quick and they're good. They're healthy. They're pretty healthy. They're good food. There's chicken and there's pork. They have an app. The Freshly app, it's called Freshly. I have the app, and it helps you can go into there and filter what you want. Like I don't eat pork, so I took all the pork things out, and I said what I don't want is pork and stuff like this and that. And you can filter your meals, and then you can see what's available for you, and they tell you what meal has this or that. But the delivery is pretty good. They come every Monday, and they come in a box, and it's cold because they have gel packs, non-toxic gel packs with insulation in the box. Insulation that you can use, like if you got to insulate your garage a little bit, a couple areas around the window, this stuff, you can use that stuff for it. It's that kind of insulation type. You can use that. It's insulation, but it's wrapped up, it's wrapped up in plastic, right? And the gel packs are wrapped up in plastic and they're cold. And so everything is cold in the box. It's like they give you like 3 big ice packs. They're ice packs. I say gel packs, but they're ice packs, but they're made out of gel, non-toxic gel. And then you can keep those and put them in your freezer and put them on the bottom of your freezer. Like if your power ever goes off, this will keep your food cold in your freezer. And you can also use them for your cooler if you got a cooler. I've already given some because I had so many of them. I've already given some to my one guy, the lawn maintenance guy, that I don't have a lawnmower. So I pay this guy $20 to cut my lawn every week, and I gave him some already to put in his coolers or put in his freezer or whatever, right? So I gave him some. And so they're handy. They can be used. They're non-toxic. They're healthy. And the insulation, like I said, if you have a small job and you saved all these little insulation things, excuse me, I had a burp there, but if you saved them all, you could do a little job there, insulating, like, if you had to do some insulation on like little parts of your garage you wanted insulated or whatever. They work for something like that. I'm saving them up because I might put some in the garage in areas that need a little insulation here and there in this garage. But anyways, that's a good company. Look them up. The food is good. Of course, I would always want a little more food that comes with it, like maybe another half a cup or a cup more portions to it. But it's actually decent. You get lots of protein. And you're going to get protein. So that's something to look into if you don't want to go to the supermarket and wait in line. And, of course, we don't know how this is going to play out, people, because, with this crazy thing going on, are you going to want to wait in line at the supermarket in the winter if they make you stand outside? Think about it. I also want to tell you this book here. Well, I'm just looking at it. This topic I was going to hit on is that you might want to buy a fishing pole and maybe a crossbow and an animal traps and get into hydroponics, growing food in your house and buying vegetables, growing a garden this summer, things like that, vegetable seeds or food seeds, fruit seeds, any kind of seeds, and thinking about growing food in your house or outside if you can. That's why I mentioned hydroponics. And, doing something like that. It sounds crazy now, but it might not sound crazy later. Okay. So if you have to hunt some food or trap some food or whatever, I also recommend buying a small grill. If you don't have a barbecue grill, charcoal, something that you can cook food with charcoal or wood chips, something like that, in case, it really got bad and the power was shut off and you need to cook food, somehow warm food up, and there's no propane, there's no natural gas or whatever, and there's no charcoal. Maybe you have some wood. I mean, you got to use something, right? So a charcoal grill to cook your food or whatever. Have something on hand for yourself. A fishing pole, go fishing, catch some fish, I know some of you might be vegan. You still need to cook some of the vegetables unless you want to cook them raw, eat them raw. So there's a couple of things that, you could think about. I don't know, this is up to you, and of course, you're going to depend on God, trust God to provide, right? But it doesn't hurt to have a couple of these things laying around, a fishing pole, animal trap, I don't know. I wouldn't eat. You don't want to eat raccoon. Raccoon is a bitter taste. I'm not even eating squirrels or rabbits. There's not much meat on them. And a skunk is horrible. You can't eat a skunk, and that's terrible meat. But I suppose you could if you had to. But raccoon, skunk, no. Squirrels. People in the South, they eat squirrels. They put a little gravy on them. They eat them actually, and but there's not enough meat there. So prepare, store up food if you can. I know that Costco is limiting people now. And so I'm just going to leave the link down there. I think it was in Men's Health or Men's Journal. And I just got it. I came past it today. I was reading some stuff and I said, that sounds pretty good. The CSA program sounds pretty good. The Community Supported Agriculture. And it's local. So another thing they recommend is if you're looking for food items, like say you want a pizza, you can go to restaurants and ask if you can buy pizza dough or any restaurants that are still open. And I'm talking about not the big chain ones because they probably won't sell you nothing, but smaller ones, you know, and see if they would sell you stuff, pizza dough or something. You gotta make connections. And so there's local harvest, the CSA program I talked about, and the small farm program. There's places like that deliver food meals to you that are easy to prepare. Just put them in the microwave and then put it on a plate, like Freshly, Hello Fresh, Sunbasket. They deliver meals to you. And then there's growing your own food. So this video may seem like, oh, wait a minute. What are you talking about? Well, I'm just saying, don't trust your government. Don't trust your television. Don't trust the media, because big business, what's going on, folks, is I haven't talked too much about this thing going on, but this is a big government, big business takeover, and that's what it is, okay? And the media is, when you look at everything, the media, the mainstream media, feeds themselves. How do they get their money? How do they feed themselves? They feed them. Big business pays them. Big business is how they get their money, from the big corporations. That's how they make their money, because you just watch a newscast and then go look at a commercial. It's a big corporation, right? Big pharma, big business, big corporations that advertise, right? And so this is how they make their money, through big business advertisements on their channel. They charge the corporations to run the advertisement, and that's how they make their money. So they scratch each other's back. Big business is, they're not going to bite the hand that feeds them. They're all tied in, the media. That's why you can't believe anything on the media, because they're being fed by big businesses. Okay, you understand? Big businesses, the big businesses are paying them, to run advertisements. And so they just like the big businesses are in government, influence government, they have lobbyists in Washington and all that, and they also support candidates who they want to run for president. They back them with lots of money. Like Hillary was backed by Monsanto. So it's a big business that is trying to take over. That's why they're trying to eliminate the small businessman. And this is a division now to try to just, create a rich community, a rich people versus poor people. They're trying to take out the middle class, basically. And you have to realize that. This is why I say don't believe anything on your TV, because the mainstream media is owned by big businesses, big corporations, big pharma, big pharmaceutical companies. But not only them, our government too. Our government, like Hillary, when she ran, she was backed by Monsanto. So they gave her a bunch of money. They endorsed her. They gave her a bunch of money to, because it costs money to run for president, right? And to run ads on TV again. So they gave her the money. And so they expect her to scratch their back. And so everything is tied in, the big business corporations and our government. Big business rules our government now. I mean, come on. These people don't care about your rights. Big business doesn't care about your rights. They could care less, because if you look at something you own in your house, you probably find out it's made in China. So are you going to tell me they care about your freedoms, your human rights, when they don't care about the Chinese freedom and human rights in China? No, they only care about the bottom line, and that's making money. They don't care if Americans become enslaved and become slaves like the Chinese. The Chinese are the modern day slaves, sad to say. They're the modern day slaves of this world. They do all the work now. They make everything. They're slaves over there. And they don't have any rights, okay? They don't have any rights, And so the big businesses don't care about your rights, okay? Just because you live in America, don't think they care about your rights. They don't, because if they did, they would say, we can't support China. We won't make our goods in China. So they would say, we're going to make them here because they don't practice good human rights. They don't respect human rights. And so morally, we can't support that country. But they're in bed with China. So you can't believe anything you hear on the television, folks. You can't do it. Don't believe the mainstream media. Don't believe your government. Okay, they're lying to you about this thing. And like I said from the beginning, this whole thing is a fabrication. It's a novel. It's a story. It's made up. It's a handmade tale. Okay, it's not real. It's an illusion on the American people and on everybody in the world to take your rights away. Okay, they're making their move, and this is why I'm making this video here. Okay, now my channel is small. I don't have many subs, and that's okay. But I found out this is a few days ago that my channel was actually so small that they have to shadow ban me. They had to shadow ban my channel. I could not find my channel because my old name of my channel was, I think some of you might know, was Old School Warrior, and I renamed it that again just a couple of days ago. I still have my Thief of Hearts profile picture. That way you know it's me. But see what I did in the beginning when I named it Old School Warrior, I kind of put the old foreign words in there. You know how you have foreign words and you can, zero. Not zero, but O and L and D and S and C and H. And you can, if you go and you press on the S on your Google keyboard, you'll come up with some other things for foreign, and I spelled it weird, right? And so if you just put in English, the regular Old School, you couldn't find my channel anyway. So you couldn't find it. It was hard to find it. It wouldn't pop up. And so I changed it to Thief of Hearts, and then and I did it in English. And for a while, it would pop up. After a while, there's some channels called Thief of Hearts, and some of them have less subs than me and are not even active, and haven't put up anything in years. And they're recommended before I am. And I went offline. Of course, I logged off, and I looked for my channel name, and I could not find it. It would not pop up at all until I put my old name with the weird letters on it of Old School Warrior. Then it finally came up. And so I changed my name again to Old School Warrior. But the only way that my channel will pop up is if you put it in exactly the way I spell it. And that's it. It will not come up if you put it in regular English. I am shadow banned. And my other channel, Thief of Hearts, my same channel, was shadow banned because, I have no idea, but they shadow banned me. Now, some people are saying, this is the rumor, that those little bots that say, hi, be my friend, great content, Trap Town and all this, and they're still going on, those are an algorithm, and they are going to channels to spy on you and to eventually delete your channel. So who knows if that's true or not. That they're just but they go on a lot of people's channel, everyone's channel. So I don't know if that's true. But I am, the algorithm has buried my channel. You can't find me unless you actually know how to spell my channel name correctly. And I changed it back, but you're not going to find my channel. It's shadow banned. And that's just the way it is, folks. But this bushcraft book is something that you might want to learn to read, because who knows? And you can subscribe to Dave Canterbury's channel. He blocked me. I was joking with him one time sarcastically, and he thought I was a troll, and bam, I was gone. So there he goes. And he got a book out, though, and it's a decent book. I hope I never have to use it, though, and I hope you never have to use an animal trap or kill an animal with a crossbow or, have to rely on fishing, but, hey, if you do, so be it. Maybe you learn a new skill. And I also advise to get in shape during this time and buy some good boots, hiking boots or something comfortable. You never know when you're and buy a bug out bag. You never know when you're going to have to hit the road or something. You may have to leave and get on the road. I don't know. These are things that have been going through my mind lately during the shutdown, But I know some of you might have a problem with the food thing going on. I don't know if if you have a job or income. So I'll pray for you. God bless you. That sounds sarcastic, but I mean, I'm serious. I can sound like that sometime. I'm serious though when I say that. I'm going to pray for everybody that have lost their jobs and are having a hard time, paying their bills or finding food. So I made this video, and it's 20 minutes already. It's just too long. I could just keep going on and on. I could talk forever sometimes, but this video was made to give you some ideas where you can find some food, maybe, and alternatives to the grocery store, Costco or Walmart or whatever, and things like that, and so Amazon. I've ordered food from Amazon at times, from their Prime Pantry, and they have no food no more, hardly. There's no, everything is gone out of Amazon. Everything, the food, I mean, not everything, the food is gone pretty much. There's not much food left on Amazon to order, to tell you the truth. No canned foods, hardly anything anymore. They're gone. And you can't even get a hold of the Amazon customer service anymore either. They're all on vacation. So, these are things that you might want to do. If not, hey, that's up to you. I mean, but, God is going to provide for you. He says he will provide. And I believe that this whole thing is happening. Like when God, how should I say, when Jesus died on the cross, right? Satan had his plan to kill Jesus, right? Physically, to get him out, because Satan is referred to as the strong man, right? In the parable. And Jesus was the guy that came into the house and tied up the strong man and then spoiled his goods. He came into his house. That's the parable right there. Jesus was the guy that tied up Satan and was spoiling his goods. And so Satan had to get rid of him. And he said, well, let me kill him. So it was a plan by Satan, but God used the plan for good, and he always uses plans by Satan. There's going to be something that good comes out of it. And this is another thing that's happening right now. This is another, can't even think of it, but the word I want to say. But and that happens a lot, so believe me, man, it's happened a lot. But I have a long story with my brain here, but I've had a massive brain injury before. I got a blood clot in my head actually right now, but that's another story. I don't have to tell you about anything like that. But I'm still here, and anyways, this is what's going on. Satan is using this against us, and God is going to use it for good. Believe it or not, He's going to see. This is all. We're controlled by these Satanists, folks, Satanists. And I know some of you don't believe that. You still believe in the political system, Democrats and Republicans. But, guess what? Have they saved you? Have they stopped the shutdown? Are they really caring about you losing your job right now? No. Okay. They're all, at the end of the day, they're all in bed. Okay. They're in the same bed. They sleep together. Okay. They're in bed with each other. Just like America's in bed with China, and American business corporations don't care about human rights in China. They don't care about your human rights here. Okay. So remember that. Don't believe anything on TV. The TV is a lie. Okay. But I want to say, what was I getting off topic? What we have going on here is Satan is making a move here. And God will turn it for good as he can, just like he did last time. Now, Satan is, trying to oppress people. And, but God is going to use this time to bring people towards him and say that you can't rely on government. You can't rely on man. And nothing is in your control. You might think that, everything is in control, but it's not in your control. God is in control. And now a lot of people are realizing how little control they have. So what God is going to do during this time is bring people to him, and where they have to the only thing they have is to rely on God himself. Just like in Exodus, when the Israelites, the Hebrews, came out of Egypt, they had to rely on God when they were in the wilderness. And so that's it. So you're going to have to rely on God now. And but you can prepare yourself for certain things, also, right? So, but ultimately, God fed the Israelites in the desert. He gave manna for bread. He made water come out of a rock. He took care of them. Okay. And this is the kind of faith we need. So pray for faith that God will provide for you. And God will do a good thing out of this, believe it or not. He's going to save souls out of this. And every time a soul is saved, there's a celebration in heaven where angels sing. Every time someone is saved, they give their life to Christ, angels celebrate by singing. And it's a beautiful sound, okay? And I've heard it one time, and I'm not going to tell you about it, but I've heard it, okay? Because my friend was on a deathbed one time, and I'm not going to get into it, but it's a story that you wouldn't believe. But I've heard these angels sing before. And it's one of the most beautiful things you ever hear. Angelic voices singing, celebrating that someone had given their life to Christ. But this video is going on 30 minutes, and I normally don't make videos this long. I haven't made a video in a while. I did make that coffee one, the little percolating one. I deleted that one already, but that was just for fun. But anyways, this is what's going on. Don't believe your government. Don't trust your government. Don't put your trust in Donald Trump or any kind of president to help you, save you. Put it in God. Don't turn your TV off. Stop watching the mainstream media, what some people call the lamestream media. It's all lies. It's controlled by a handful of people. There's like 6 people that own all the media in the United States. I don't know about the world, but here in the United States, I think there's like 5 or 6 people that own all the broadcasting media. George Soros alone, he owns like 30-some, maybe 33, right? 33 different media broadcast stations by himself. So they control the information. And so that's why you should never believe the television. Never, because they're controlled by big business. And big business is taking over now. Okay, they're trying to eliminate the small businessman. And if they oppress you like they do to the people in China, they don't care because they make all their goods in China. They don't care. And then we got a governor over here in Michigan, Whitmer, who's acting like Hitler. She's a tyrant. And so she's out of control. And this whole thing is a hoax. There's no sickness, folks. There's nothing like that going on. The test that they give to say that someone has it is testing for damaged cells. We all have damaged cells because of free radicals in our bodies. And the free radicals are good for you, actually, because just like bad bacteria in the stomach, you have to have that in the good bacteria. And you have to have so much of the bad bacteria. It does a job. It has a job to do. And the free radicals in the job, their job is to take out the damaged cells or eliminate them in your body. You can't have a body full of damaged cells, otherwise you'll get sick. You might get cancer. So the free radicals do their job in taking out these damaged cells. And of course, the good thing is antioxidants. So that's why it's good to take in antioxidants, which help rebuild the body and rebuild the cells. But your body rebuilds every night when you go to sleep anyway. But free radicals are just natural. So anyone that takes the test, okay, I'm trying not to say the name, is going to be tested positive because we're all breathing out damaged cells or CO2, and that's what it tests for. It's like testing a person for something, some kind of sickness, and the test is testing if you have skin. Well, of course you have skin. And then you would say, okay, you have the sickness. That's all it is. Everyone has damaged cells that they breathe out, CO2. And wearing a mask is not healthy for you. I used to wear a mask at work. I worked for General Motors in a foundry. And I worked in this one area where there was a gas. I was in the core room. And we made these cores out of sand, compressed sand. And there was a gas that was used in the sand to make it compressed. It would press the sand together in a machine. And there was a gas that was used, so we had to wear these respirators, right? But all during that time, it wasn't the gas that got me sick over there. It was the CO2. And my face, my nose, around where I had the mask was all red for a long time while I worked in that department. And it was because I was inhaling the CO2 for 8 to 9 hours a day. I was inhaling it back into my system. And my skin had an allergic reaction to it where, my face was red on the weekends when I had and I could wash my face, rinse it, it was staying red until I got out of that department. It started to go away when I got rid of the mask, but that's what happens. There was also the gas that was something there too, I think, but it was mainly the CO2. You're breathing in all the germs again into your body. We're supposed to breathe in oxygen, not CO2. But I could tell you a lot. I can keep on going, but don't trust your government. Don't trust the television, the news, or what they're telling you. The stories on the internet. So much deception, folks. It's not even funny. And like I said, the test for the thing is going to test for damaged cells. We all have it. And they might be collecting your DNA too. So who knows? Because the census came out in 2020, and now they want to collect people's DNA. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. So if they take a swab of your saliva in your mouth, that's a DNA, because they do that when they take people DNA samples and say you are the father or you're not the father, right? DNA to tell who's who and crimes and all that, and also to see like a Maury Povich, whatever. All they need is a swab inside your mouth. And so this could be a whole massive world scale DNA collection for who knows what. But anyways, I don't believe I'm going to take the test. If they come here, I'm going to refuse it. And I'm going to refuse any vaccinations, because I don't need viruses and bacteria and all the junk that are in vaccinations injected to me, because they have never done me any good in my life. The Bible doesn't say anything that we need vaccinations. God didn't make mistakes. He gave us an immune system, and it's to be used, and man is still around. Okay, so we never needed help with our immune system to guard us against vaccines. Animals don't need vaccines in the wild. So when you get a pet, a cat or dog, don't have them vaccinated. Please don't do it, because you're hurting their health. They don't need it, okay? They don't need it. The only thing they would need would be parasite pills for heartworm or, stomach or intestinal worm. That's all they would need. They have good immune systems. And the animals in the wild prove this. They don't need any vaccinations. We don't need vaccinations. Vaccinations are a lie. And if you do your research, you'll find out. But anyways, this is 33 minutes long, and maybe I should end it on 33, because 33 stands for Christ's consciousness. Actually, not for the Illuminati, not for Freemasons, but Christ's consciousness. And you can look that up yourself. So I'm going to end this video here. I'll leave the link down where you can maybe look up some of those places if you need food. God bless you all. Talk to you when? Who knows? Later.